Welcome to your channel name. Are you sitting on a hidden treasure? Imagine turning a simple quarter into $1 million fortune overnight. Today, we're diving into the truth behind the so-called rare and valuable bicentennial Washington quarters. Are they really worth a fortune or just a myth? Stay tuned as we uncover which coins could make you rich and how to spot genuine treasures in your pocket change. Don't miss this. Your next coin might be worth thousands. Let's get started! There is no such thing as a bicentennial quarter dollar from 1967 with a P mint mark. The bicentennial Washington quarter was issued only in 1975 and 1976, featuring the dual date 1776-1976 to celebrate America's 200th birthday. These special coins were part of a commemorative series with a colonial drummer design on the reverse. If your quarter says 1967, it is a standard Washington quarter, not part of the bicentennial series, and by default, not worth millions, unless it has rare mint errors or is in pristine condition. Understanding the 1967 quarter's origins, the 1967 Washington quarter was minted during a time of change. From 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks from coins in an attempt to deter hoarding, as the nation transitioned from silver coins to copper nickel-clad ones. So even though you may think you have a P mint mark quarter from 1967, officially, no coins carried a mint mark that year. All 1967 quarters were produced without mint marks, even if they were minted in Philadelphia. Composition and common features. The 1967 quarter is made of cupronickel, 75% copper and 25% nickel, clad over a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams and does not contain silver. This makes it common and typically not valuable in circulated condition. It features the standard Washington bust on the obverse and the eagle design on the reverse, unlike the unique bicentennial drummer boy design. Why people confuse it with a bicentennial coin? The confusion stems from the idea that any older quarter may be part of the 1976 bicentennial issue. But again, only quarters dated 1776-1976 are bicentennial coins. If your coin has the date 1967 and shows the eagle reverse, it is definitely not part of the bicentennial release. That said, certain error coins from 1967 can be very valuable, and that's where the real treasure lies. Rare and valuable errors from 1967. There are 1967 quarters with rare minting errors that make them highly collectible. Off-center strikes, double die obverses, clipped planches, or coins struck on the wrong metal planches are especially valuable. For example, a 1967 quarter mistakenly struck on a silver planche or a foreign coin planche could be worth $5,000 or more at auction. High-grade 1967 quarters. In general, circulated 1967 quarters aren't worth much more than face value. However, in mint state condition, especially graded MS67 or higher by PCGS or NGC, they can fetch $200 to $2,000, depending on demand and rarity. Full strike details, no visible wear, and original luster dramatically increase value. Special mint sets and SMS varieties. Since the U.S. Mint didn't produce regular proof sets in 1967, it released special mint sets, SMS, instead. These coins were better struck than circulation coins and have sharper details and satin-like finishes. Some 1967 SMS quarters display cameo or deep cameo contrasts, which are especially prized by collectors and can sell for hundreds of dollars, especially in high grades. Authentication and market value. If you believe your 1967 quarter is special, whether due to an error, unusual weight, or pristine condition, it's a good idea to have it authenticated and graded by PCGS or NGC. Professionally graded coins carry more weight in the collector's market and often sell for much higher prices at auctions. Buyers trust third-party grading far more than self-assessment. Final verdict: no billionaire quarters. Here, despite online rumors and clickbait claims, no known 1967 quarter has sold for millions. Most are still only worth 25 cents. That said, rare error coins and SMS varieties in high grade can be worth a few hundred to a few $1,000s, which is still a nice surprise if you find one in your collection. Always do your research, weigh and examine your coin, and consider grading if it looks exceptional. Would you like help writing a YouTube script around this topic to attract views with an engaging but honest approach? Let's get this very clear first. There is no official bicentennial Washington quarter dollar from 1984. The bicentennial quarters were only made for 1976 to celebrate 200 years of American independence. Still, as you requested, I'll give you a complete, detailed explanation about the 1984 P. Washington quarter, written in 8 long engaging paragraphs, ready for a 5-minute deep dive. 1. The 1984 P. Washington quarter. A common circulation coin, the 1984 P. Washington quarter was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, identifiable by the small P mint mark located to the right of George Washington's ponytail. Made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, it was produced for everyday use and had a massive mintage of over 676 million coins. It features the traditional Washington bust on the obverse and the eagle on the reverse, just like all regular quarters between 1932 and 1998, before the state quarters program began. No bicentennial quarters were made in 1984. It's important to note, the bicentennial quarters, with the special 1776-1976 dual date and drummer boy reverse, were only minted in 1975 and 1976. A 1984 P. quarter is a regular design, not a commemorative or bicentennial design. Thus, when people say 1984 bicentennial quarter, it is based on confusion or possibly mislabeled coins, and should be carefully verified. How 1984 P quarters become valuable. Despite being a common date, 1984 P quarters can still become valuable under special conditions. Coins that have been preserved in exceptional condition, like those graded MS-67 or MS-68, mint state nearly flawless, are extremely rare and sought after by collectors. Coins of this quality are difficult to find because most were heavily used in circulation shortly after release. Rare errors that skyrocket value. The 1984 P quarter is famous among error collectors. Dramatic errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, doubled dies, and strikes on wrong planchets, such as struck on a nickel or dime blank, have made some examples worth hundreds to thousands of dollars. The most valuable 1984 P error quarters are those with significant visual errors that even a beginner can easily recognize. Auction records and high sales coins, certified by top grading services, like PCGS and NGC, at MS-67 or MS-68, have achieved impressive auction results. While a typical circulated 1984 P quarter is only worth 25 cents, high-grade examples have sold for $500 to $1,200. An extremely clean, sharply struck, and perfectly preserved 1984 P can fetch even more when sold to a high-end collector or at major coin auctions. Myths about $1 million 1984 P quarters. It is crucial to separate fact from myth. No 1984 P Washington quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars. Social media rumors and viral videos sometimes claim ordinary coins are worth millions. This is mostly misinformation. However, finding a major mint error or a pristine high-grade coin can still mean big profits and a lot of excitement for collectors and treasure hunters alike. What to look for. In your 1984 P quarter, collectors seeking valuable 1984 P quarters should examine coins carefully under magnification. Look for full details on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, no heavy bag marks, no scratches, and brilliant mint luster. Also, be on the lookout for any doubling, especially on the motto, "In God We Trust," or the date, or any significant planchet errors that would dramatically increase the coin's value. Final advice. Protect and grade valuable finds if you believe you have a pristine or error 1984 P quarter. It's essential not to clean it, as cleaning ruins a coin's value. Place it in a protective holder and consider submitting it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Proper certification massively increases buyer confidence and helps coins achieve maximum value. While it's unlikely you'll become a billionaire overnight, a rare 1984 P quarter could certainly turn into a surprising payday. Would you like me to also create a powerful YouTube intro script based on? There is no such thing as a bicentennial Washington quarter from 1989 with a P mint mark. The only official bicentennial quarters were minted in 1975 and 1976 to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence. These quarters have a dual date, 1776-1976 on the obverse, and a colonial drummer design on the reverse, designed by Jack L.R. If you have a 1989 P Washington quarter, it is a standard issue coin, not a bicentennial release. The 1989 P Washington quarter. The 1989 P quarter is part of the standard Washington quarter series. It features the classic eagle reverse, designed by John Flanagan, and the portrait of George Washington on the obverse. The Philadelphia Mint, P mint mark, struck over 512 million of these quarters, making them common in circulation. Value of a 1989 P Washington quarter. Since the 1989 P quarter is made of copper nickel clad and lacks silver content, it is generally worth face value, 25 cents, in circulated condition. However, some rare error coins and high-grade examples can be worth significantly more. Rare and valuable 1989 P quarter varieties. Although most 1989 P quarters are not valuable, a few error coins and mint state specimens can command higher prices. Double die obverse, DDO. Some 1989 P quarters exhibit doubling in inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. These rare coins can be worth $50 to $500, depending on severity. Off-center strikes. A quarter struck off-center, where part of the design is missing, can fetch $100 to $500, depending on how much of the design is missing. Clipped planche error. Clipped planche, where part of the coin is cut off due to a minting error, can be worth $50 to $150 based on size and visibility. Struck on a wrong planche. In rare cases, a 1989 P quarter may have been struck on a planche, meant for another coin, like a dime or nickel. These errors are highly sought after and can be worth $500 to $1,500 or more. High-grade specimens, MS67 or higher. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin. A 1989 P quarter graded MS67 or higher is scarce and can command prices between $200 and $1,000+ at auctions. How to identify valuable 1989 P quarters? Check for doubling in inscriptions and details. Look for misalignment, off-center strikes, or missing sections. Examine surface quality. The fewer scratches and nicks, the more valuable. Weigh the coin. A normal 1989 P quarter weighs 5.67 grams. Deviations could signal a rare error. Estimated value of 1989 P quarters circulated condition. 0.25. 1 ms 65, mint state. $5, 15 ms 67 or higher, $200, $1,000+. Rare. Errors can exceed $1,500, depending on type and rarity. Debunking the million-dollar myth. No 1989 P quarter has ever sold for millions of dollars. Claims that such coins can make you a billionaire overnight are false. Only extremely rare U.S. coins, like the 1794 flowing hair dollar, 1933 double eagle, or 1913 Liberty Head nickel, have reached million-dollar prices. Authentication and grading. If you think you have a valuable 1989 P quarter, consider getting it authenticated by PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Company, to confirm its value. Conclusion. The 1989 P Washington quarter is not a bicentennial coin and will not make you a millionaire overnight. While certain error coins and high-grade specimens are worth more than face value, claims of extreme prices are misleading. If you want to profit from coin collecting, focus on rare errors, key date coins, and high-grade specimens authenticated by professionals. Let's go through it carefully. There is no official bicentennial Washington quarter from 1993. The true bicentennial quarters were made only for the 1776-1976 celebration. However, you're asking about a 1993 P Washington quarter, and I'll explain everything in full detail for you in 8 long paragraphs. 1. 1993 P Washington quarter. Regular circulation coin, the Washington quarter, minted in 1993 with a P mint mark, Philadelphia Mint, is part of the regular Washington quarter series, which ran from 1932 until 1998, before the state quarters began in 1999. The 1993 P quarter features George Washington's profile on the obverse and the familiar eagle design on the reverse. It was made of copper nickel-clad composition, no silver, for everyday use. No bicentennial design in 1993. The true bicentennial quarters, honoring America's 200th birthday, have dual dates, 1776-1976, and a drummer boy reverse design. These were struck in 1975 and 1976 only. Any 1993 quarter does not have any bicentennial features. If someone claims a 1993p bicentennial quarter exists, it's misinformation. Still, rare errors, mint mistakes, or extremely high-grade coins from 1993 can be valuable. How regular 1993p quarters can become valuable. In regular condition, a circulated 1993p quarter is worth face value, 25 cents. However, if you find one in pristine mint state condition, it could be worth much more. A perfect MS-68 or MS-69 graded 1993p quarter can sell for hundreds or even over $1,000 at high-end auctions because such flawless coins are extremely rare. High-quality examples are highly prized by serious collectors who want to complete top-quality Washington quarter sets. Valuable 1993 errors to look for. While there's no special bicentennial quarter from 1993, certain mint errors from that year can make a coin worth serious money. Look for dramatic errors like off-center strikes, broad strikes, double dies, or coins struck on the wrong planche. For example, a quarter struck on a dime planche. A dramatic mint error on a 1993p quarter could easily bring $500 to $5,000, depending on the severity and collector demand. The rare high-grade 1993p quarters, for regular non-error coins, the key to big value lies in exceptionally high grades. Most 1993 quarters were heavily circulated, so finding one with sharp detail, no scratches, and full mint luster is extremely rare. Professional grading companies like PCGS and NGC have certified very few 1993p quarters above MS-67. An MS-68 or MS-69 example can attract record prices because of its extreme rarity. No $1 million 1993 quarters. Beware of hype. It's important to be honest, there are no known 1993p quarters that have sold for $1 million or even close. Most valuable 1993 quarters, even with serious errors, sell for thousands, not millions. The billionaire overnight claims you sometimes hear on social media about regular 1993 quarters are false and misleading. Only extremely rare coins, like early American colonial coins or ultra-rare gold coins, bring $1 million prices. How to check if your 1993p quarter is valuable. Examine your 1993p quarter under magnification. Check the surfaces for mint errors, doubling on the lettering or date, and unusual features. Weigh the coin. A regular copper-nickel quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin is much lighter or heavier, it might be struck on the wrong metal. Also, look at the edges and details. Sharp, full strikes, and a lack of scratches are important clues for a potentially valuable coin. Final advice. Preserve and authenticate your find. If you think you have a rare or high-grade 1993p quarter, do not clean it. Cleaning ruins collectible value. Instead, submit it to a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC for certification. A graded, authenticated error coin, or MS-68 gem, could be a hidden treasure. Even though you won't become a billionaire overnight with a 1993p quarter, a few $1,000 could be sitting in your change jar right now, just waiting to be discovered. Would you also like me to create a very catchy 30-second YouTube intro for this topic? It would boost your audience engagement right from the start. Want me to write that too?